Hey there, Chad here for the AI Content Dojo. In this video, I want to I want to show you two things that you can do in Shortly that are kind of interesting. One being a nice quick way to sort of summarize some content, and the second way being a way that you might be able to use that sort of summary to create a little bit of a story that you might be able to use to keep in mind when you're writing your content. The content that you see here now is about omakase style dining. That's something that you find in Japan. I took it from my website, the Tokyo Spark website, where I explain what omakase is. And yeah, so let's get into this. Basically, what I want to do first is I want to create a sort of summary of the content that's here. Because maybe it's a little bit fluffy, or I just want to kind of condense the idea of this content down into just a few bullets, maybe. And then I'm going to use those bullets to, well, you could use those bullets for anything you want, really. I mean, if you just wanted a way to summarize that content and then maybe use that as sort of an executive overview of what you need to deliver for your clients, things like that. Really, you could use the bullets or the condensed sort of overview of the content in any way that you need to, of course. But what I'm going to do next is I'm going to use that to kind of create an interesting story that you might be able to use when you're creating the personas that you're looking to write for in any of your future content. And so this is really simple. Just explaining it because maybe you didn't maybe make the connection yourself or haven't really taken the time to think about other unique ways of using Shortly to do things like this. And so this boils down to using sort of the natural language capabilities of the AI. As if you turn to your assistant, and I'm going to see if dictation works here. I'm going to say, give me 3 bullets from the above. Okay. Highlight this, Shift Command Enter, and it's going to run the instruct command on that. And look at that. I got 3 bullets that are a sort of summary of the content above. Pretty cool, and actually that's really good. Guests leave themselves in the hands of the chef and receive a meal that's a seasonal, elegant, artistic, and uses fresh ingredients. Man, that's perfect. That's a really good sentence. Michelin stars often accompany. Yes, they definitely do. These are some of the most top-end restaurants that you'll find in Tokyo. Okay, so now let's cut off the context there. Well, not there. Oops, sorry. Let's cut off the context here. I don't want anything above this being used in the next command that I'm going to write. This is the point where you could use these bullets for anything that you need to use them for, the condensed sort of overview of the content. But what I'm going to do next is I'm going to try and get a story out of it that might become used in a persona. Write an interesting story using the bullets above. Highlight, Shift Command Enter. Let's see what we get. Now the AI is thinking about it. Interesting. Okay. All right. So now imagine that you're a sort of like a Japanese food writer, and you're looking to kind of wrap your mind around the idea of omakase, or in this case, they're talking about ikura gunkan, which is a rice wrapped in seaweed with fish eggs on top, and it says stuffed squid. Um, that's kind of funny. Nikutori as chicken, and that's one of the things you need to check about this AI too, is double check things. Although I could be mistaken. Ikura gunkan. I'm pretty sure that Ikura Gunkan is something you would find at a sushi restaurant, the seaweed wrapped. Regardless, review everything that the AI kind of creates if it's making factual statements, of course. But for this purpose, basically what we're trying to do is create a story. And in a lot of places, or a lot of ways, you might think of this as a persona story, or something about the topic you're going to write about, or the person who is going to be the reader, where you would use this to kind of gain empathy for the situation or for what the reader is expecting to experience in your article. And this is maybe a way that you can use the AI to kind of formulate that story from the content that you've already written to give you an idea of either maybe using it in future articles or stories that you might write, or maybe updating the existing content that you have to maybe focus more on the emotional aspect of what the reader needs from your content and differentiate yourself from the competition that's out there that's just basically probably dropping just facts and information and not really connecting it to the reader emotionally. And really, that's all I wanted to show you in this video. I hope that you found it interesting and that, maybe this stuff is enticing to you. If you're not using AI yet, this is just a tiny fraction of the way that you can use it. And it's really cool. I mean, just being able to sit here at a blank screen like this and run some commands and experiment brings out a ton of creativity in itself. And I hope that you give it a shot. If you don't have Shortly yet, down in the description below is a link I have to it. If you purchase using that link, Shortly will give the AI Content Dojo a small commission to help me continue to create guides and videos and things like this so that you can get more information to help you use these tools better. Also, if you're not in the AI Content Dojo Facebook group, check it out. We share lots of helpful tips and advice with each other there to get the most out of these tools as well. And until next time, take care.